Hey everybody, it's Gomladex and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today I'll be playing another premiere draft of Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and we've opened up a really fun, really kind of dumb rare, Storm the Festival. This is a 6 mana sorcery. You look at the top 5 cards of your library, you can put 2 permanents with mana value 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and put the rest on bottom in a random order. So really big bomb if you can get up to casting this, and it has flashback for 10. Huge balmy play for the green decks and a pretty fun way to start this draft. I'm going to scoop up this Storm the Festival. If this weren't here, all 3 of our uncommons are great options. Chaplain of Alms great for Disturb decks. Nice cheap creature, good stats for its mana cost, and it comes with the Disturb ability. Flesh Taker is great for the white-black deck. It's a lot of sacrifice synergies. And Dawnheart Mentor is just a lot of power and toughness for the cost with a pretty nice ability later. Best commons here are Startle and Revenge of the Drowned, being interaction that spits out a caged zombie, and Moonrager's Slash for some removal. But we're going to start off with Storm the Festival, and here we get to show off a card that I've been passing up a lot. Well, never mind, no we don't. We potentially get to show off Death Bonnet Sprout. I did get a comment about this that I'd seen it in a lot of packs and just repeatedly just passed it right on by without even mentioning it. I just haven't played with the card a lot, but it does have a lot of success over on 17 lands, so should be a pretty solid common, really good for milling your own cards, getting some graveyard synergies going, and even if you don't get synergies with other cards, it does flip into a 3/3 eventually for only 1 mana that just keeps getting bigger, so that is a threatening card. That being said, there's Organ Hoarder in this pack as well, the kind of mythic rare common that is just really consistent. It's always good, a 4 mana 3/2 that not only draws you a card when you play it, it draws you the best card out of your top 3 cards of the library and puts the other into your graveyard for graveyard synergy, so that's really nice. Curse of Surveillance, just a really slow draw an extra card every turn card, not a big fan of those, so that is why I'm passing up that on color rare, but I'm going to take the Organ Hoarder. I guess it's not on color, but passing up that rare. So potentially go into the kind of green-blue self-mill strategy. That being said, now we see an excellent black common, actually 2 of them, as well as a really good black uncommon, the Dreadhound. This is kind of a big finisher, big 6-drop that doesn't synergize perfectly well with Storm the Festival because we can't hit it, it's too much mana. Whereas Diregraph Horde is a really great common, and we could hit it off of Storm the Festival, and it's just a really good card in general. 5 mana 3/4 comes with 2 decayed zombies, and you exile 2 cards from graveyards if you need to. I'll take Diregraph Horde over Olivia's Midnight Ambush. I don't know if I take Diregraph Horde over Dreadhound generally, but I think I should with Storm the Festival as one of our cards. But Dreadhound is definitely a good finisher as well. I think I'm going Diregraph Horde. I don't know if that's 100% right, but I'm scooping up the Diregraph Horde here. And wow, another Diregraph Horde, another Death Bonnet Sprout, another Revenge of the Drowned, and another Dreadhound. A bunch of repeat business here from some sweet cards. I'm tempted to just take another Diregraph Horde and definitely be in black at least, but maybe it's the Dreadhound. It's so close between the 2. It's so close. It's definitely one of those 2 though, I think. I'm going to take another Diregraph Horde. I think. Yeah, I mean, Dreadhound's just a little slower and it doesn't work with Storm the Festival. Alright, well, black is looking wide open. Now we get to scoop up a Hobbling Zombie, which is a super solid black common. 3 mana 2/2 with Death Touch. When it dies, it replaces itself with a decayed zombie. Solid little card there, nothing massively exciting, but Baneblade Scoundrel looks pretty sweet. It's kind of like a big threat standalone there, but just hasn't played that massively good for me. It's just been okay. I think I prefer the Hobbling Zombie here, more of a decayed theme. Other than that, this rare is pretty much unplayable and limited. Yeah, it only matters if somebody's casting more than 1 spell each turn, and even then it's doing like 2 damage every now and then. So yeah, Hobbling Zombie, Silversmith, Scoundrel, and Neonate's Rush are the best cards in pack, and we're already pretty heavy in black, so we'll take the Hobbling Zombie. And these Death Bonnet Sprouts are just going to roll around everywhere, so I guess we do get to show off the Death Bonnet Sprouts. Maybe they'll all wheel back to us as well, be some kind of green-black self-mill deck. It's not exactly a strategy in this format. Weirdly enough, there's not a ton of black graveyard synergies. Black does not have Disturb, which is basically creature flashback, or Flashback, which lets you cast spells from your grave. It doesn't have either of those, but green does have Flashback we could use, so Death Bonnet Sprout, we'll try it out here. We will try it out here this time. Nothing good here. Return to Nature. It's close to main deckable in this format because there is Flashback and Disturb, but I don't think it quite reaches that yet. And Plummet definitely isn't. Then Blood Pact is not the greatest card draw, it's just fine. I guess we just take Blood Pact. There's nothing off color that's super exciting. Cathar Commando is fine. Infiltrator or Stinger are fine. We'll just take the Blood Pact. Wow, and now we get a Hobbling Zombie or a Morkret Behemoth. Probably the Hobbling Zombie. We're green-black, so we can have our big end-game black cards just be a bunch of big green dorks. Don't require sacrificing things to get out for cheap. Take another Hobbling Zombie here. Just really good for its mana cost. Yeah, Morkret Behemoth is like a big game ender, but Hobbling Zombie is just a little more efficient. We've wheeled a Chaplain of Alms, a Revenge of the Drowned, and an Arrogant Outlaw. I'm not a big fan of Arrogant Outlaw. It's okay. It's kind of just a worse version of Vampire Spawn from the Baldur's Gate sets and all that. That's a 3-mana 2/3 that always drains the 2 life. So I think I'm just going to speculate on blue here and take a Revenge of the Drowned to go with our Organ Hoarder, if that card's going to go nice and late like that. There's a chance. Now we can just take a Silverbolt. Nothing exciting in this pack. We'll just take the filler removal in case we can't get better removal. Now we have a Bounding Wolf or a Bat Whisperer. They're both pretty fine, pretty filler. I prefer Bat Whisperer a little bit, and it's in our more heavy color. We're definitely in black, so take the Bat Whisperer. Just like that, it can go wide, give you 2 creatures off 1 card. This is an easy no way out. One of the best Mind Rot style effects that they've printed in recent history, because it's one of the few Mind Rots that actually does a solid something, even if you top deck it late game. Take that Jack-o'-lantern and Crossroads Candle Guide in case we need to splash a color. We could be full Sultai. We could be green, blue, black here. So what are we doing now? I think we are taking Ecstatic Awakener. We are definitely in black, and this is one of the best black commons. It's incredibly good with Decayed Zombie tokens, and we have double Hobbling Zombie and double Diagraph Horde to get those zombie tokens. So I like Ecstatic Awakener a lot here. Burn Down the House is quite powerful. We could take that, try to push into black-red, but I don't love black-red as a color pair, and it's kind of equally powerful to like a Storm the Festival. So I would still be kind of more tied into green or blue than red, even if I have a Burn Down the House in my pool here, so I don't think it's worth going off color to try to get that. I think I just take the Ecstatic Awakener and be pretty happy with it. I'm taking it over Midnight Ambush, but again, there's a lot of good black removal, so we hope we can get those kind of things later. And taking it over Stromkirk Blood Thief, which is a decent aggressive card, but a little bit slow for its cost. Wow. Excellent uncommon here. Morbid Opportunist. Whenever 1 or more other creatures die, draw a card. This triggers only once each turn, but you can still draw a lot of cards off of this if it isn't dealt with immediately. It's particularly good, again, the running theme of this deck, one of the strongest mechanics in the set, is Decayed Zombie tokens, because there are so many good ways to synergize with them. And of course, Morbid Opportunist, a great one. Those Decayed Zombies, when you attack with them, definitely die and definitely let you draw a card. So this can turn every single Decay card that you make, every single Decayed Zombie you make, into just a straight up draw card. So really, really good stuff. And it's good even without the Decayed Zombies. There's also Organ Hoarder here. Hurts a little to pass that, but Morbid Opportunist is just nuts. It is a good enough uncommon that it's even better than the best common in this set. Siege Zombie is also in that pack, which is worth mentioning. The 2-mana 2/2 that you can tap 3 things to have target player lose a life. That is a great card. We love to wheel that if we're really lucky. And here I think I'm taking Organ Hoarder and trying to push back into blue. We have 2 good blue cards, and we have 2 good green cards. Our green cards are slightly better than our blue cards, but Organ Hoarder is really, really good, and we got that Revenge of the Drowned really late, so even if someone is drafting blue, they are passing up some of the good Decayed token producing pieces of interaction, which is exactly what you want in a blue-black deck. So I think our pod, we should be well positioned to try to push into the blue-black deck here and take this Organ Hoarder. And I was definitely correct there. We are getting past some sweet blue stuff. Nebelgast Intruder is quite the solid flash play. Nice flyer, gives -2/-0 out of nowhere. Larder Zombies, really good with Decayed Zombies, super good for the blue-black deck. And then Gale Drifter's okay. I think it's really between Nebelgast Intruder and Larder Zombie, and I think our deck would be a bigger fan of Larder Zombie than Nebelgast Intruder, but Larder Zombie would be more likely to wheel. So I'm not sure 100% which I want the most here. Looking at this deck, Double Diregraph, the Organ Horde, Hobbling Zombies, I really think Larder Zombie's just the nuts in this deck. I'm going to scoop it up. Okay. We have an Evolving Wilds if we still want to attempt to splash a little bit of green, or just to help our blue-black mana base. Nothing great in blue here. Secrets to the Key is always okay. Otherworldly Gaze can be mildly okay if you have a million flashback cards. Yeah, there's Outlaw, which is super filler, and Blood Tithe Collector, probably the best card. Big flyer, maybe makes your opponent discard a card when you drop it. Solid card. Super late Organ Hoarder, come on in. I will take that over Covert Cutpurse. It's actually moderately close, because Covetous Geist is a really nice card to be able to disturb into. The front half of this card isn't the craziest thing ever, but it is 2 cards in 1, which makes it pretty powerful, kind of a 2-for-1 in that sense. But I think it's got to be Organ Hoarder, just so consistent, so powerful. Such an absolute banger of a card, and now we get a Scab Wrangler here. Pick 7, beautiful stuff, another perfect way to use all your zombie tokens. Now you can lock down your opponent's best creature each turn by tapping 3 of yours. Scab Wrangler. Excellent, excellent card. We get another Larder Zombie now. Come on in, join the party. Now we have that Stromkirk Blood Thief is back. Moonsilver Key is just really slow mana fixing, not ideal. Don't love Amalgam or Stormrider Spirit. They're both kind of whatever. I'll take a Blood Thief here, I suppose. And we wield the Siege Zombie. Pick 10. This is the draft pod. You want to be blue-black decayed in. Oh my god. Throw a Flesh Taker in the side, potentially be able to splash that in and make even more use out of our decayed zombies. Wow, and we got Blade Brand too, which is an okay use of your decayed zombies. And speak of ways to use your decayed zombies, Champion of the Perished, a 1-mana 1/1 that gets a +1/+1 counter whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, even if it's a token, even if it's gonna die. Champion of the Perished is a really sweet rare to open up. That's super fun. I doubt we're wheeling any of the cards we want here, but we saw a really late Siege Zombie, so maybe we wheel a Diregraph Horde being the #1 card for us, Startle probably being the #2, and Nebelgast Intruder being the #3. Those would all be great, and then Bat Whisperer, Novice Occultist, or Observer would all be fine. What a card to open up there. And Blade Stitched Scab gets passed to us, which can give all of our zombies +1/+0. So we'll scoop that up. We do really want removal, and it is getting scooped up. So that is going to be the biggest flaw of our deck. We don't have any straight up removal, but we do have Revenge of the Drowned, Silverbolt, and Blade Brand to try to use effectively enough to keep us alive just long enough to do our obnoxiously good things we can do with our decayed zombies. I don't think I can pass up the perfect uncommon for the deck, the best uncommon for the deck for a removal spell as badly as I want it. So Blade Stitch Scab it is. If we live in Magical Christmas Land, I guess we could wheel the Eaten Alive here. Now there's another No Way Out, which is fine. I don't really like Devious Cover-Up very much, requiring that double blue. Really, really big fan of Flip the Switch if we want to try to get a counterspell in the deck. I think I'm just taking No Way Out here. Another Blade Stitch Scab? Please don't have removal in this pack. Of course, there's removal in this pack. Defenestrate and Revenge of the Drowned. Maybe we'll get lucky and reveal this, or wheel this Revenge of the Drowned again. But I'm taking Blade Stitch Scab #2. Cannot resist that. Cannot resist that hotness. Morbid Opportunist #2. Don't mind if I do. Good gravy. This is an insane deck. We've got a lot of solid 3-drops, and Component Collector doesn't do too much. Moorcrypt Behemoth doesn't do like a whole lot either, but I think it's probably better in this deck than like Stormrider Spirit. Just toss this out, sack a Decayed Zombie, have a 7/6 menace. Alright, I don't think we're going to end up with any removal, unfortunately, and now I'm just going to rare draft this for some gems. It's definitely the biggest flaw in our deck. Another Ecstatic Awakener is beautiful here. Come on in. Definitely over the Scoundrel. We've got the 4-drop slot all filled up with Organ Hoarders. The Bat Whisperer and the Novice Occultist wheeled here. Neither of which are super great. Occultist is cute with Awakeners. Yeah, I don't think I want another Bat Whisperer at 4 mana. Really late Search Party Captain there. Another more Crypt Behemoth it is, though. Alright. There were definitely people drafting our colors, but not our specific archetype. Definitely seems like a lot of the blue and the black removal got scooped up real quick. Every time we saw good removal, it was competing with... It was like pick 3 or something, and it was competing with like the best on-color uncommon we could possibly get. So we're going to have to play a deck with a very small amount of interaction. Very happy we got this Silver Bolt here. Don't love Secrets of the Key. How's our creature count looking? 25 creatures and 7 non-creatures, so we're cutting a lot of creatures first and foremost. Maybe even the Bat Whisperer, the Blood Thief. Cultist is a possibility. One of these larger zombies, maybe? Cutting 9 cards out of this deck. Secrets of the Key is our weakest non-creature card, I think. Maybe Blood Pact. They're both similar. Probably Secrets of the Key, though. Just a lot more mana to draw those cards. And we don't have like counter spells to try to hold up where we need a lot of instants or anything. So I think I cut Secrets of the Key for sure, and then I cut probably Stormrider. Don't need a lot of big expensive flyer kind of things. I think we have a great curve of 1s and 2s to get rid of a Cultist here, even though it does synergize with Awakener. I guess I have to cut all these creatures, and then we still have... we still have to cut more cards, so yeah. Still have to cut 2 more cards. 19 creatures here. Probably want to cut more creatures. I kind of want to cut Blood Pact, though. With double Morbid Opportunist and triple Organ Hoarder, I think we have card draw all filled up. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut Blood Pact, and then we cut 1 more card. One of these 2 larger zombies, maybe? It's hard. Our creature quality is through the roof. Our non-creature quality is pretty low, but our creature quality is absolutely insane. Yeah, I can't get over how good our creature base is here. Do we just cut one of these No Way Outs? We just say whatever, we'll just be the no non-creature card deck? It's probably fine. I don't think we can cut Bladebrand, even though it is one of the weaker cards in the deck, because we just need more ways to potentially kill things. And Bladebrand, like, we can make like chump attacks with decayed zombies, and it won't look very suspicious very often because we're just getting damage in with Blade Stitch Scabs, or drawing cards with Morbid Opportunists. So if our opponent has like a 5/5 or 6/6 or something, they're like, all right, whatever, I'll block this decayed zombie. It still makes sense that you would attack with it. And then it'd be like, surprise, actually had Bladebrand. So I really like the idea of Bladebrand in here. I think I'm just going to cut one of these No Way Outs. I don't know that they fit in the curve very well. They're going to be like the last thing we do, because we're going to have so many plays throughout the game because we can keep ourselves fueled with triple Organ Hoarder and double Morbid Opportunist, and I can't see myself taking a turn off to make my opponent discard 2 until they have exactly 2 cards in hand. It's not going to be super often. And larger zombies just like the sickness. Set up all your draws throughout the game. It's also a zombie, so it'll be a really big defender with a Blade Stitch Scab down. I think the cut is 1 larger zombie or 1 No Way Out. Probably not a land. Average 2.7, maybe a land. But we really want to hit 4 mana on turn 4. And Organ Hoarders are really good at digging through your deck and making sure when you play an Organ Hoarder, you're not flooding out. Because if it's 2 lands and a non-land card, you're always drawing the non-land card. So it's like, it'd be a lot easier to flood out if this was just a 4 mana 3/2 that just says draw a card when you play it. We cut one of these or we cut a land. I really don't think we cut a land with 4 Organ Hoarders. I'm going to cut the No Way Out. 1 copy of that. We'll see how it plays here. Here we are with a final look at the deck we'll be playing with today. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little worried. If you look at the top of our deck here, everything above this gap, this deck looks absolutely incredible. Like, probably the best deck you can draft in this format. That being said, you look below all these cards, we've got some problems. We've got a very low amount of non-creature spells, a very low amount of interaction, and the stuff that we have there isn't the greatest. Bladebrand, Silverbolt, No Way Out, and Revenge of the Drowned. We don't have any Eaten Alives for removal, no Olivia's Midnight Ambushes for removal, no Infernal Grasp, no Flip the Switch, none of that stuff. Very low interaction deck. Hopefully, with just the extreme quality of creatures we have in this deck, we just get to play Solitaire all the way to victory. So we'll see how this performs as we head in to round 1. See how big of a problem our lack of interaction is. Here we are now, game 1 of this Innistrad Midnight Hunt Premier Draft. Our opponent will be on the play. Got a Champion of the Parish here, a couple Morbid Opportunists, a little bit of an awkward lineup here. No zombies to go with the champion for now. Both colors, though, as soon as we hit a blue card to play. Definitely not going to trade our champion into this Stinger here. I think I'm going to have to cycle this Bladebrand just to draw a card here, see if we can get a zombie. And Neonate's Rush is pretty disgusting on us. A very sturdy 2-for-1 here. It's going to put us really far behind. It's going to kill our best creature in hand and draw our opponent a card and deal an extra damage to us. Just hit a land there and another land off the top. Drop the Opportunist past the turn. We can't block the Stinger well because it can buff itself to +2 power. It's always threatening to be a 3 power first striker. Our draws have just lined up real awkwardly here. Put us pretty dang far behind. Alright, there's Revenge of the Drowned at least. Gives us a Decayed Zombie we can draw a card off of. Do that next turn, we can maybe Blood Tithe Collector. Or I could play another Opportunist right now, so when I do Revenge, I'm drawing 2. Or when the Decayed Zombie dies. I think I have to just Revenge of the Drowned right now, though. Keep our opponent off of our face for a moment. Attack for 1 and pass the turn. They're going to put the Gale Drifter on the bottom of their library so they have more threats in their hand ready to go if they don't want to redraw that. Shipwreck Sifters here. Draw a card, discard a card. If they discard a Disturb card or a Spirit, that will get a +1/+1 counter. Just discard a land here. And then play a Falcon Abomination in the sky. Alright, we'll take 1 from Stinger. Get our big swing out of Blood Tithe Collector here. Unless they want to lose a creature to our Decayed Zombie, but I highly doubt that. Just take 2. And take 2. Now we draw a card, and then we make them discard a card. Another land for us here. Drop Blood Tithe Collector. We now have the biggest creature on board outside of Voldaren Stinger. They can double buff that to be attacking with it as a 5 power first striker. It's a pretty big deal. I guess that would be only if they play another land this turn. Organ Hoarder from our opponent. Look at the top 3, put 1 into their hand and the rest into the graveyard. Alright, discarding a Flip the Switch and a Mountain for whatever they wanted to keep, so whatever they kept is better than a Flip the Switch. Not ideal. We're definitely dropping Opportunist and Siege Zombie. I think we attack with Blood Tithe Collector first. I guess I don't really block Organ Hoarder without Blood Tithe Collector. but I think I still send in this attack here until they put more stuff on their board. But yeah, if they attack with Organ Hoarder, we actually probably do block with Siege Zombie because we draw 2 cards off of it when it dies with 2 Morbid Opportunists on the board. So we still do kind of hold off their non-Voldaren Stinger attacks on the ground. Just by virtue of having double Opportunist. Considering attacking with Organ Hoarder, they're going to go for it. Snap block here, see if I can draw 2. By getting a creature to die. Alright, we'll deal our damage here, no reason to have these untapped. Put them down to 13. We go down to 14 and draw 2 cards. Draw a Hobbling Zombie and another land. And a Storm Skrillex from our opponent. Incredibly big deal here. Yeah, that's massive. That's going to kill us really quickly. Definitely drop Howling Zombie. Then I think we have to just pass the turn. Trump block is not the end of the world on Skrillex, because again we're drawing 2. Poppet Stitcher 2. Whenever they cast an instant or sorcery, they get a Decayed Zombie. They're going to attack both here and use a combat trick to finish off Collector and deal extra damage with Storm Skrillex. It's better to put this over here though, just in case the trick isn't big enough. The trick very much is. Alright, beat Blood Tithe Collector, we draw 2. Ecstatic Awakener, Larder Zombie. They're not flyers, and land number 11 has arrived. I think we're just dying in the sky because we don't have enough interaction here. Go Awakener, sack Hobbling Zombie, I guess. Draw 3. Hobbling Zombie, Larder Zombie, Blade Stitched Scab. I think it's too late for all this gas. Made it through the land clump now, but this gas is just not good enough now. So we are dying in the sky. Yep, double Lunar Frenzy. 4 lethal. That is going to be 0 and 1. Lunar Frenzied pretty hard out of it. Alright, gonna make a quick adjustment to the deck. Because we're very low on removal, we are very, very weak to flyers, because we don't have a lot of flyers either. So I cut 1 Larder Zombie for 1 Storm Rider Spirit, just to have a little bit more options in the sky here. Game 2 now, we're on the play this time. Larder Zombie into Wrangler with a late game Diagraph Horde. Super solid stuff here. Opponent is on green. Blue-green Deathbonnet Sprout to start it off. Probably send a Silverbolt that's way. Don't really want to trade Scab Wrangler into it right now. We'll just get our Larder Zombie value here. I forgot to play Silverbolt. That was So dumb, just instinctually. Now we need to mill into the land off of Larder Zombie. Stopping the upkeep here. So Death Bonnet Sprout's first mill was an Outland Liberator, so that is one creature in grave. They're going to Winterhorn Blessing on it, make it bigger, lock down our Blade Stitched Scab. Would rather take 2 than not Surveil, so I'm going to Surveil here. Blood Tithe Collector, get out of here, you're way too much mana. How punished am I going to be for my brain just absolutely spasming there and not dropping the Silverbolt that I said out loud I was going to do? Oh yeah, it's still tapped, so we can't even do the Surveil up, the Surveil in the upkeep. Yeah, we're gonna get punished bad. All right, rough. What a brain fart, good lord. We'll just drop it now then. Fourth land from our opponent. And Shadow Beast Sighting. Okay, that's fine. They can't attack into our 2/3 Larder Zombie. We can tap down that and hit them really hard. Okay. Shoot the Sprouts. Hit very hard here. And when we get our Organ Hoarder mana, we're going to have beautiful things going on. Stopping my upkeep just in case. Yeah. Rather surveil on my upkeep or be able to tap down a 4/4. I think I'd rather just have all my creatures untapped, because then I can disincentivize it in attack, because I can have a double block with Larder Zombie and Siege Zombie where I only lose one creature. And luckily for us, we hit that land and we get the Organ Hoarder down. Just do our Siege Zombie thing here, close out the long game. Yep, Diregraph Horde's beautiful in this matchup. If we hit a land, we definitely hit a land. Grab an island, I guess. Could tap 1 down, but I still can't get in anyway, so we just pass. Yeah, Diregraph Horde is going to be beautiful here. They probably Winterhorn Blessing this turn, but then we can exile both of their Shadow Beast Sightings from their grave. Probably Winterhorn Blessing our Organ Hoarder down, since it's our best blocker. Single-handedly trades for a 4/4. No, Eccentric Farmer is the play. We might be able to exile a Shadow Beast Sighting and a Winterhorn Blessing then, which I might be more interested in. Just because the Winterhorn Blessing happens sooner. Okay, they did hit a land off Farmer, so they are going to do that now. Or they can do that now, the Winterhorn Blessing. We're just trying to close this game out with Siege Zombie shenanigans. Really have to break through here. Are going to Winterhorn Blessing down the Organ Hoarder. Makes sense. Make the Farmer 3/4. They have to decide if it's worth trading a 4/4 into our Siege Zombie or something like that. They decide against it. There goes Siege Zombie, and here comes Diregraph Horde. Exile the flashback card, and exile the other flashback card. We now have enough untapped creatures to do 2 abilities here. We can double tap. Not against Burly Breaker, that has Ward 1. We could tap both of the 4/4s, or just deal some damage here. I want to trade a 4/4 into a Diregraph Horde, I think that's okay. I think I let them go to combat. We're also at 20. We can just take the damage and then tap down all their stuff. I guess everything except Burly Breaker. They're at 12 life. I feel like we can probably find lethal here if we just let this through. We go tap that. Tap that. They have one blocker. We have all these attackers. They block the 4/4, take 4, 5, 6. Oh, and we drew Blade Stitch Scab. Jesus Christ. We drew Blade Stitch Scab for even more power. We just attack everybody, I think. Actually, it's better to go tap that, do our Summoning Sick card, our Defender, and one of our Decayed Zombies, and then attack all. But yeah, this is... Unless they have Fog in their deck, that's just 1,000,000 damage. What a draw. Another Blade Stitch Scab, just really stack on the power there. It's going to be 1 and 1 now. Our blue-black deck. Incredible stuff from Blade Stitch Scab. And Scab Wrangler for sure. Here we are in round 3. These are the hands that really put a man to the test. Nothing until turn 4 on the draw. I'm going to keep it. We will draw something that costs less than 4. We have a lot of options. We immediately draw Silverbolt. That can put in work to keep us alive until we start dropping down Organ Hoarders every turn. Just running around in Value Town. Got a Hobbling Zombie as well coming up. Our opponent starts blue-black as well with a turn 2 Siege Zombie and a turn 3 Blade Stitch Scab. That is a much better start. And they're on the play, which is Sketch. I think I have to just Silverbolt the Scab here. Pass turn. And then hope our Organ Hoarders can just keep trading off into all of their threats, so we can just keep going up a card over and over and over again as we keep them off of our face. This could be flip the switch now, so we Hobbling Zombie instead, because that still gives us a blocker, and it's by far the worst card in hand if they have flip the switch. But it still gives us the blocker we need. It's Revenge of the Drowned instead. That will go on the bottom then. And Diagraph Horde. No, please don't have the curve out. Really punished for the slow hand here. With the curve out from the player on the play. Oh, god dang it. We play our biggest blocker then, for sure. But now they just go wide. We block one thing and take 8 here. And Siege Zombie's hitting us. Well. Played against the curve out on the draw. And it's probably over. Jesus Christ, yeah, it's over. We even had a reasonable amount of interaction there, playing one removal spell before turn 5, and we're still just getting absolutely rolled. This is just quite the start from our opponent. Be a monumentally hard one to beat for most decks. Pass turn, just do 1,000,000 Siege Zombie damage to us instead. Organ Hoarder. Dig for our Revenge of the Drowned is the best thing we can do to Siege Zombie now that our Silverbolt is gone. We would have been so dead if Silverbolt didn't happen. Because these would all be 1 more power. They'd all be 3 2s and 4 4s. Saying it. A 6th land is okay, because we can double Morbid Opportunist next turn. Hobbling Zombie is also okay, because it can trade into Diagraph Horde. I think I'd just take the land, though, honestly. Oops. I accidentally closed Arena. Or minimized Arena there. I don't think it matters what we do. We're taking 2 a turn, even if they never attack, and they can easily just attack all this turn and kill us, right? 3 blockers. Yeah, they have lethal on board already, and they have another removal spell. Jesus Christ. 2 removal spells. That will do it. The absolute steamroll start from that deck. Not sure any decks have a chance against that on the play. Here we are in round 4 now. What will hopefully not be the last round, but we are on the draw yet again. Don't think we've won a single game on the draw. But maybe that's about to change here. Solid hand. We have turn 2 plays, turn 3, and turn 5. You are always on the back foot on the draw, and unfortunately our opponent is playing the most aggressive colors they can play. Red and white here. I'm actually going to go for Scab Wrangler first, so next turn I can play Champion of the Parish and Blade Stitch Scab to be mana efficient and get counters onto that card. Festival Crasher, do your thing. Just 1 damage this turn. And another Festival Crasher. Probably going to block these more than I should today, because of how much I got killed by them 2 drafts ago. Or in my first return draft. That was pretty terrifying. I'm not going to block any of them, so I'm just going to tap 1. They're going to shoot our Champion of the Parish to get extra damage in with one of the Crashers. Fair enough. Now we can Revenge of the Drowned one of them, or Hobbling Zombie. Revenge of the Drowned is pretty much going to permanently kill it. But I like saving that for a bigger threat. Trading a Hobbling Zombie off into one of these is not bad. Yeah, with opponent stuck on 2 lands, they're just going to put a Festival Crasher on bottom. I'm not sure I need to kill one that bad. Guess they have double Homestead Courage here. That's an easy choice to block. So we'll have a Homestead Courage again next turn. Unless we Diagraph Horde. Seems super fine by me. Exile their flashback card and their Festival Crasher, because why not? Don't want to attack with Scab Wrangler. Attack with these 2, they're just going to scoop them up here. Say attack with these 2, and then we tap down Festival Crasher again. Just going to be too much for our opponent stuck on mana there. We are 2 and 2 now. Round 5 now. Opponent will be on the play here. We've got our turn 1 Champion of the Parish and a turn 3 Hobbling Zombie, both colors, but we need to draw another land. Again, we are on the draw though, which certainly helps us try to hit that land, and we hit it turn 1. So not exactly a curve out, no turn 2 play, but close enough to be pretty threatening here. Unfortunately for us, our opponent is going to start with a couple 1/1s. from Join the Dance, which they can flash back for 5 and get 2 more of them. So Champion of the Perished is never going to get in here, nor is it ever going to block. At least not for now. A lot of our creatures are zombies, so it could happen far in the future. Search Party Captain from our opponent, a 2/2 and they draw a card. Pretty nice start. Wow, and Chaplain of Alms to make that mana efficient makes up for not playing a 1-drop here. Yeah, pretty good start here from our opponent. I think I just drop a Hobbling Zombie over the Scab, because it's possible we can go Scab and Blade Brand in the same turn later. Wow, okay. That is another devastating, aggressive curve from our opponent here this game. I think I have to trade a Hobbling Zombie off, but I'm not going to trade Champion of the Perished off because it's going to be big enough to block and survive next turn. Just running up against a lot of aggressive decks on the play today, which can be pretty brutal. I'll hold on to this Decayed Zombie. We have 2 Morbid Opportunists in this deck, so we have at least those as good ways to use them. If we play another card from hand here, we might go for No Way Out next turn. But they're going to flash back to Join the Dance. That's solid. Means they don't have excellent attacks this turn. Send the Chaplain in, though, if they want to get that in the grave. There's one of the Morbid Opportunists we were talking about. I could still No Way Out them here. Actually seems kind of worth it. Get them down to 1 card in hand. No Way Out, and we Morbid Opportunist as well to draw the card off of this Decayed Zombie dying. Discard a land and a wolf there. Oh wait, no, I don't have enough mana. Oops. Don't have enough mana to play Opportunist and the other thing. I am bad at math. It's okay though, No Way Out is fine there. Probably should have just went for Storm Rider Spirit though. That's disgusting. Good draw from our opponent. Get rid of the champion now. Highly doubt that was just in hand the whole time, but I guess it could have been. Final Grove Witch. They don't have Coven though, so it's not going to get flying every turn. Probably attack all here. They just attack all like 3 turns in a row and we're pretty dead. No attacks. I'm pretty down with that jam. Drawn to Ecstatic Awakener. Play Opportunist, hold up Blade Brand, or do we play Opportunist Awakener, or do I play just Awakener, flip it immediately? I think I go Awakener, flip it. They're playing off the top now because they're not covening in for flyers, and if they're not attacking, if they weren't attacking last turn, they're not going to when we have a 4/4 to block with. A little greedy here, go for the Opportunist. Start drawing cards. They just block with Chaplain here to take no damage, but we draw a card still. No blocks, they're playing it safe. Silver Bolt. And go Awakener and drop the Bolt. Or hold up a Blade Brand that I probably won't use anyway. Awakener Bolt it is. See what they got off the top? Just a land. That's good news. Very good news. Now we can Silver Bolt and still hold up Blade Brand. I don't think I need to Silver Bolt anything here. Flip our Awakener. Really have good blocks, and if we draw a land out of these 2 cards, we get to hold up Silver Bolt still. We do. Scabwrangler is not actually that good on this board because of how monstrously wide it is. The problem isn't the quality of their creatures, it's the quantity of them. Alright, I'm just going to keep holding Silver Bolt. Maybe I use it on the Candle Grove Witch now, but I have Storm Rider Spirit to surprise them when they do try to hit us with that. Organ Hoarder and still hold up a Bolt. We just start playing our massive value game and overwhelming them over time here. And now I have the mana to Awakener and Wrangler. Not holding up Bolt, but if there's anything we need to Bolt, we would just tap it down with Wrangler. Oh, just runner for a ton of lands from our opponent. Okay. Might as well tap some things here. Can't tap that because it's got Ward. Send in the 4/4 now. Feeling pretty dang safe, and we could have another one. Guess I have nothing I really want to sack to the other one right now. I think I just sent in the 4/4. Okay. I do have a Silver Bolt on board, but is it worth it? Probably. Probably. So I can just keep tapping down the flyer they get out of that card. And now I get to keep my 4/4 on the board. Oh wow, I always forget you can flip Awakener as an instant. That's nuts. There's Persistent Wolf. Pass the turn, get a Stormrider Spirit. Keep using our Scab Wrangler to be very rude. Well, we're supposed to hit the Death Toucher here. Alright, go to our turn. Still don't have anything I want to sack to this Awakener. Send those two in. We'll take 7 down to 10. I guess I could sack an Organ Hoarder to it. It's only 2 toughness, so it's not going to be attacking in well against their multiple 2/2s. We'll draw 2 cards. Another Blade Stitch Scab. Alright, come on down, friend. Come on down. Alright, their board has Ward now, so we need to spend mana to do our tapping thing. But they're gonna scoop them up. They just see the writing on the wall. Our board state's ridiculous. Filtered through a ton of our cards in our deck, and they're over it, just scooping it up. 3 and 2 now. A very solid recovery after a pretty mediocre start with the deck. We definitely got a lot of punishment for our lack of removal in those first few rounds against a lot of aggressive decks that were on the play against us. But yeah, really happy to recover to at least an even win rate here at 3 and 3 at worst. So see how far we can take this as we head into round 6. On the play here in game 6. Monocolored hand, which is a little risky, but I do like Awakener with no way out, and I like Silver Bolt being in the hand. Everything in the hand is black, so if we hit any lands, we can cast everything over time. So turn 1 Ecstatic Awakener and see where we go from there. Hopefully not a red deck. If they have Neonate's Rush, that card's very good against us. Shoot our Ecstatic Awakener and draw a card. Pretty incredible deal. Oh my god, I shouldn't have opened my mouth, because Voldaren Stinger is also a red card that's super good against us. Just red cards, period. Just good against 1 toughness cards in this format. Red can't do a ton in this format, but it can definitely beat up 1 toughness cards pretty handedly. Okay, they did not have Neonate's Rush, because that costs 1 less to cast if they control a vampire, so they could have casted that turn to kill Awakener. I think I'm gonna No Way Out here just so I can flip Awakener next turn if they don't kill it. Pretty happy we were on the play this game too, because if we weren't, turn 1 Stinger into turn 2 Siege Zombie is a really threatening start. And we made them discard Lunar Frenzy, Ecstatic Awakener, so who knows what kind of gas they still have in hand. If those are the worst cards in hand there, this could still be a really bad time for us. Voldaren Ambusher. Yep, it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be bad. Hobbling Zombie is good off the top. We can Silverbolt Siege Zombie or just play the zombie. I'm just gonna play the zombie. Four mana from them. Alright, this is gonna be a fine trade here. Trading our 2/2 Death Touch for a 2/2 with no text, but it's still keeping the damage off of us, getting it off the board, and giving us a Decayed Zombie here. Just slam in with these. One of them should hit our opponents, and then we can Blood Tithe Collector the last card in their hand out. Both are gonna hit our opponents. So let's get our opponent to discard their last card in hand, and then we'll probably have to Silverbolt Voldaren Stinger. Because if they get 6 mana, that's the only thing I can't block. Yeah, if they draw one more land, I can't block Stinger. So I think we have to bolt that, of all things. Awkwardly enough, we're going to be taking a lot of ping from Alchemist and Siege Zombie. Ooh, no Siege Zombie ping this turn, but I guess that's because Alchemist already just hits us. Alright, we are slowly winning the game on board. We're hitting them for 3 a turn, they're hitting us for 1 a turn. And it's a top deck war, but they get the first draw. Who will win this coin flip? Looking good for us so far. Morbid Opportunist is the draw. We don't know what they hit though. Could be instant speed removal, but could just be a land in hand. Down to 13, they're down to 10. Another draw step from our opponent. It's just going to be play a land past the turn. Another draw step for us is going to be Revenge of the Drowned. Pretty beautiful card if something bad happens. Really kind of winning these coin flips in this game. Now that things are stable, we are drawing better. Opponent draws for turn. They're going to Alchemist first, and then they're probably going to cast Removal here, I guess is what's going on. No, Forger so they can get the extra mana off it when they cast it, so they can immediately discard a card and draw a card. I see. So discard a land in hand, draw a card, I guess, is going on. I can respond by putting that on top, and they'll have to choose if they want to redraw Forgers or draw blind. So that's what I'm going to do. They have to put it on the bottom, or just redraw it this turn. They choose to redraw it this turn. Which means we definitely get in. Probably get in with everybody this turn, actually. Block there, they just take lethal. I guess their only way to survive was to trade into a Decayed Zombie and go to 1 life, so that was a brutal attack there. That is going to be 4 and 2 now. And now, no matter what, another positive win rate draft for us. Really, really nice return trip to Innistrad Midnight Hunt this time around. 5-3 into 7-1 into 7-1 into at least a 4-3 today. Alright, on the play again with a turn 1 Champion of the Perished. No other play till turn 3, unfortunately, but still a definite keep. Definitely going for it here. As always, another red deck Please, no Neonates rush. I hate that my rare can just get Neonates rushed. Red, black, another Vampire's deck it is. Well, Vampire color pair, but they go for Lambholt Harrier as the play. Here's a Morbid Opportunist, and we'll pass the turn. Third mana from our opponent, that is Neonate's Rush mana, but they're going to Moonrager Slash the Opportunist. Fair enough. Hit us with Harrier here, I'm guessing. Yep, we'll take 2 down to 18, and we'll drop an Organ Hoarder and hit them back for 2. We draw into land, land, no way out it is. And hit for 2. They're down to 17, we are down to 18. So the Lambholt Harrier's ability is for 4 mana, they can make it so we can't block with something. Not super worried about that. Not a very efficient use of their mana until they're out of other things to play. Ooh, rough. Guess we should have traded to Harrier there, because the Vampire Socialite does stuff. If opponents lost life this turn, they come in with counters, so that's 2 3/3 menaces on their board, which is very threatening. We could no way out them to get a counter on champion and attack with both creatures here, or I could attack with exclusively Organ Hoarder and it probably gets through, and then we can Blood Tithe Collector them. I don't know which I like more. The Socialite's going to be really hard to block either way because of the menace. I think I Blood Tithe Collector this turn. Get my own biggest threat on the board. One that can break through their board state, kinda. Or fly above it, at least. The rest of their vampires are just going to come in even bigger, too, because double Socialite, they'll come in with 2 +1/+1 counters. That card is wild. We're going to have to double block a Socialite and hope they don't have tricks to follow it up. If they have like another Lunar Frenzy, this will be pretty disgusting. I mean, this is just like revealing you have a trick. Don't really have a way to play around it though, do we? Like, we take 8 here, and they just play 2 really big vampires, and we do not outrace that because we can't get through on the ground. I think we have to double block a Socialite here. So their next vampire comes in with 1 counter, or they have to spend their mana casting a trick instead of casting a vampire. I hate that they put Collector up front. That means it's definitely a trick. Hopefully it's an expensive enough one. They can't do like a 1 mana trick and... Okay, yeah, they just spend all their mana on the trick this turn. Means at least they're not putting more stuff on board, and we can no way out their last 2 cards in hand. But then we're just dying to these Socialites and the Harrier. We just can't block anything with that ability. This is brutal. I think we have to... No way out here. But like, what possible draws could we have to survive after a no way out here? A 2-drop creature? Scabwrangler or something? I don't even think that gets there because we're taking 8 on board. Like, yeah, we're taking 8 in 2 turns. I can't just not play creatures here. I have to just Organ Hoarder for something, and then double block Socialite, or I just tap out for Spirit and double block a Socialite. Like, if we no way out them, they Harrier us and just win. If I try to hold up Spirit, or if I hardcast Hoarder, they also just Harrier us and win. They Harrier us, hit us for 6, Harrier us, hit us for 6. I don't think there's any line that leads to victory here. Maybe they'll tap out pre-combat, but I highly doubt it, because their cards get counters post-combat. We just, yeah, 2 3/3s with Menace and Lambholt Harrier's ability on board, we can't really do anything about this. Guess I just needed to trade my Organ Hoarder into their Lambholt Harrier earlier. Okay, I can make sure they can't play another creature here, because I'll force them to make it so Organ Hoarder can't block by playing a Storm Rider Spirit. So all of your mana has to go into your Harrier's ability. Now, all but one of your mana, I guess. They choose not to. Is it another Lunar Frenzy? I'm getting Lunar Frenzied a lot today. This Fireball style, just nightmare of a combat trick. Okay, they just want to kill our flyer, and they want their mana up for their next play. Blood Tithe Collector? Yeah. Can't really kill that. I don't have removal in my deck. Alright, Organ Hoarder, do you get us anything? Get us the Revenge. It's way too much mana, though. Next turn, they say one of our creatures can't block, so they get in for 7 guaranteed. Not dead next turn yet. But I just don't think there's any line to victory. I guess the only possible line would have been if we took Blade Stitch Scab and then like buffed our zombies, maybe we could find some way to, if they had tapped out with like everybody, somehow find lethal. Yep. I think this loss was very heavily decided by us not choosing to trade Organ Hoarder into the Lambhole Terrier. I think that's one of those things that I wanted to try and potentially like get aggressive crackbacks into them. If this format were newer and I'd played it enough recently, I think this is a game that we could win where we realize because they're the red-black color pair, they have a lot of these Bloodthirst style cards that get extra value if we lost life this turn. So just trading off with the Harrier, assuring that we didn't take any damage this turn, having that be able to stop any of their Bloodthirst cards from triggering was probably worth it, but just haven't played this format enough recently, or played against the red-black enough recently to be like, yeah, the vast majority of their cards could have like extra abilities if they deal damage to us, but that was definitely the play that cost us the game. I think we could have had a pretty solid chance if we just traded off with the Harrier there, because then all they could have done was play two Menace Vampire Socialites. That still would have been a really big deal, but we'd have a couple more turns at least to try to stabilize. But definitely not unhappy with that draft overall. I think the deck looked better than a 4-3 deck, but honestly, with the card quality of our non-creature spells, probably was legitimately like probably a 4-3 deck on average here. But really happy with the overall record in Innistrad Midnight Hunt drafts. So if this is the worst draft we've had so far, still looks like a pretty good draft to me in terms of deck quality and win rate overall. So that is going to end today's draft. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more videos like this. And thank you all again for watching. Our rating is now nice. So I'll see you all again very soon for some more Magic Arena. Actually just did the big brain plays. We have to make sure to go exactly 4-3 there, or else we don't end up as mythic number 69.